My story began in darkness that soon came to light. I had love and comfort and family, but creatures lurked outside of the den, creatures that no mother wished their young to see. But little did my mother know, my story was about to get a whole lot worse. In a heartbeat. I opened my eyes. I saw a big face looming down on me. It was Mama. I sniffed around. The colors were all so bright, and I could hear things. 3 other small bodies wrestled against me. I assumed that they were my siblings as I looked around. It was so bright green outside, with blues and purples. I closed my eyes again, ready to rest. It had been a long day, and after all, I had longer to do. That's me, Inna, and our mother, Minnow, but I just call her Mama. I have 3 siblings too. That one that's on me right now, he always steals my food. His name is Twig. I don't like him much, but he's my sibling. I still love him. Then there's that one in the back. Her name is Violet. She is nice, but she's kind of quiet. And then there's Red. He's that much redder cub, as his name suggests. He's my best friend in the whole world. I love him so much. We followed after Mama. I wondered what was going to happen. Where were we going? Suddenly, Twig attacked me. I ran around, knowing that this was not a game he was playing. He was being mean. Of course, Mother just said that it was good, so I tackled him a few times too, showed him. Me and Red played tag a bit. That was actually playing. Mother didn't know the difference. And then something amazing happened. Violet actually played with me. She never actually played with anyone. We were having so much fun. I was so happy. Then Mother meowed for us to follow after her. I did so, and I saw some little delicate creatures floating around in the breeze. They came in many different colors. Without waiting for Mama's permission, I leapt at one, grabbing it and shaking it. I put it down and began eating it. It tasted so soft and light. We fought over the butterflies, but it was all just fun and games. They were so tasty, though. I chased after them happily, wondering if we were going to actually have time to catch them all. I sniffed around and I saw one. It was bright pink. I really wanted to catch it. I leapt up into the air, but I couldn't reach it, until it flitted down, of course. I was a master hunter. Mama, Mama, I called, running over to her. Look at what I caught. Very good, honey. You'll be quite the hunter, she said. Now go play with the others. It had been quite a while, and my siblings were wandering around much farther away, but I was still playing. I loved the tiny little mushrooms that exploded into thousands of clouds. They were so fun. I decided to call them cloud balls. They were so nice. They smelled a little strange, though. I wasn't sure if I liked it. But then I realized something. Mother wasn't with me. Mama, I called out, looking around. I sniffed the air, and I managed to actually find them. But maybe, while I had the chance, I decided that I was going to go explore a little bit. I wondered what I would find. What would it be? through the flowers and the grass. It felt so interesting on my paws. I wondered if I was going to find anything dangerous. But there wouldn't be anything dangerous near the den, right? Mama wouldn't allow it. I started to wonder if I was going to get lost if I kept exploring. I'd gone pretty far from the den, and I thought it best not to go any farther. So I went back to the den. The sun was getting a little hot anyway. I didn't want to call out for Mama because then she would notice that I had been gone. So I just slowly crept back in where I would have been resting. But she always curls up and checks for us. I wondered if she knew maybe I was lost. Was she testing me to see if I would come back? I looked around at the open, huge world in front of me before I blinked to close my eyes and fell asleep, letting the cool rush take over me. I woke up at night. I wasn't sure what was going on. I saw my mother running away. Well, not running, but sneaking. I crawled after her, sure that I wasn't supposed to follow her. She hadn't invited me after all. I peeked around rocks, wondering where she was going. Was she abandoning us? I hoped not. I didn't know how to hunt anything other than butterflies. I saw a big figure. It was like a big rock V, but it had a strange earthy platform in front of it. I crept up beside her and clearly got a little farther than I was supposed to be sneaking. But Mother wasn't angry. She was just watching. I looked up and I saw a strange glowy thing, like the stars in the sky, but it had come to the ground. I leapt up, pouncing it. Mother cuffed me around the ear. "You have no appreciation for things like this," she said. I sat on her back, wondering what to do. She then picked me up and began bringing me back home. Although I assumed that made a bit of sense. I shouldn't have been out here. I leapt at her tail as she ran away. "Oh, young cub, you have much to learn. Don't you know of sneaking in silence? The thing that the forest calls when we are away." "The forest is alive, but it doesn't call." "It does. The wind spirits, they call out to us. We hear them. We hear them deep within the grasses, and with the rustling of the bushes, and the song of the birds." "Really?" I asked, wide-eyed. "Yes, little one. Now, go back to sleep. I'm sure your siblings wouldn't be happy that they missed this." I closed my eyes without another word. Mother curled around us, and I felt warmth overcome my pelt as I rested. I knew that the world was so much bigger, but how much bigger exactly? "Come on, little ones. It's time to go." "Go where?" Red asked. "Away. I must show you the area now. It's a good day for this. The rain will come soon. We have to go before it comes. Dangers come with rain." Mother said. What dangers come with rain? Huge floods, and just mud that can slick you back. But here, I'll show you these landmarks. Do you see this? We put these down everywhere that we go, in distant spaces. If you ever see one of these and are lost, you know that you're on the right track. I took in the scenery around me. This was a pretty good landmark. Come on, quickly, Mother hissed irritably. I didn't oblige, of course. Hey, do you see that over there? We're gonna hunt it. Okay, I said, running out. No, you have to stalk it, she said, annoyed. Why was Mother being so angry? Maybe she was just on edge because we were exploring. I ate from the rabbit happily, but my brother pushed me out of the way. I ate what was left, the small scraps, although I was the smallest of the litter. My brother could always push me around. I smelled rain on the breeze. It smelled kind of nice, though. I'm not sure why, but it did. I walked through the beautiful grass. Flowers speckled all around it. They smelled of honey. And maybe something more. Maybe like life. No, I was sounding like my old mother, I chuckled. I leapt up over a huge log. We walked along the ridge and suddenly a raindrop splashed on my nose. The rain was coming. A little earlier than Mother had expected. Come on, cubs. We've wasted enough time playing around in the snowy flowers. Mama picked me up. I didn't want to be picked up. I was an adult now. Although, maybe I wasn't. She was already much bigger than me. Ow, Mama, that hurt, I said as she dropped me. If it doesn't hurt, then you won't learn your lesson, she said, licking my forehead. But I am sorry. I am in a bit of a rush. If the rain gets too much worse, I might lose one of you. Would the rain spirits allow that to happen? Aren't they watching down on us, protecting us? I said, although the story had spooked me and I stayed close to my mother's side. Yes, but it cannot control all. We have control over ourselves too. Come on, we're gonna have to cross the river. We'll have to do it quickly before the waves get too bad. I looked at the cold water. It was so strange to swim in it. It felt so interesting. Here, I'll carry you across, Mother said, lifting me up. This time I was grateful. But suddenly I saw waves. They were huge, and I saw a huge one coming behind us. It knocked me right from Mother's grasp. She turned around and frantically tried to get at me. All the cubs had been thrown to the river, and I saw Red and Daisy making to the shore. Violet! Red! Mama! I called out as she grabbed a stick, but wasn't able to get to me. Mama! I cried as the waves washed me away. Suddenly, I hit my head on a huge twig. It must have been a full tree, dislodged by the waves. Everything went black. Then there was silence, so much silence and so much pain. I wasn't sure what to do now. I woke up on a small riverbank. The water around me was so wet. Suddenly I realized, no more water. I don't want more water. I began walking, wondering where Mama was. Was she gone? Did she make it across the river all right? Was she even alive? I was so scared. Suddenly, some birds scared me. They flew out of the grass. I leapt and I ran. I was so worried. Suddenly, I squashed a big thingy with my foot. It looked like the butterflies, but much duller. It was still tasty, nonetheless. I decided to get one more. I was pretty hungry, although my appetite was quite spoiled from everything that had happened. I ran away through the forest. All the leaves were gone. This place was so barren. At least the cloud balls were still here. They were nice. And the fireflies too. They were also pretty. I ran along the steep rocks. I sniffed around, wondering where to go. Could I be going the wrong way? How? I began looking around. Everything was so dark. No wonder night wasn't safe to be out of the den at. Then I remembered something. Something important. Mother had told me about those little path things, and assuming that they come along this area, wouldn't there be some kind of marker for me to follow? I was hopeful about this, although it didn't have many chances. And I didn't even know if they had come here. Why would they? I walked across a tiny branch. It began cracking under my paws, and I held very, very still, inching forward slowly. It crackled more and more under my paws. Then it broke down. I screamed, but luckily it wasn't that hard to get off it, although my paws did hurt. But most likely that was just from being scraped up along the reeds. I sniffed around, unsure of where everything was or what I was supposed to do. I saw more water, so much more water. I didn't want it. But then I saw something. Footprints. Mama's footprints. And siblings. Then I recognized it. This place, this is where I had been washed away at. There were so many footprints all around. I chased after them. It almost felt as if my siblings were here with all of their scent. And Mama was here too, it felt like. I wished I could just keep on imagining, but I couldn't. If I did, I would never get out. Then I would die. And then I would never find Mama. I continued walking along the path, wondering if this was even a safe place. How could it be? Fog began growing along the edges, and it was scary, I'll have to admit. I looked all around. I saw more footprints. I followed after them. More like chased after them, though. I didn't want to lose Mama again. Then I saw some big creatures. Hello? Help! I called after them. Hey, can you help me? They just ran away through some bushes that were too thick for me to go through. I quickly ran back to the trail, which I had luckily not lost. I had to stay focused. If I didn't, then suddenly I broke off. The tracks had vanished. Had I lost the tracks? Suddenly, they picked back up again. There was a huge break in between, and I wondered if that meant that they had leapt. Were they running from something? Were they running from me? I hoped not. There was so much water ahead of me and I could smell it. It was so scary. And there was a huge bird above me. I wasn't sure what it was. It looked like maybe a swan, but it was brown at the bottom. Then I saw some eggs. They were on the ground and they couldn't be it, so I chased after them and ate them. But then I saw my family again. I ran after them so quickly, not wanting to lose them. I chased after them so far, I was not going to lose them again. But then suddenly a huge bird came out. It hurt me. It hurt me so much, Mama. I snarled at it and ran. It chased after me. It was protecting its babies, I realized. Something that my mother should have done. Then it grabbed me. I was so scared as it flung me against the tree. Everything turned black. I woke up, but just barely. I was hurting so bad. And the creature was there still, chasing after me. Still. I wondered where it was safe to run. Was it safe to run anywhere? It picked me up and threw me again. And again. It hurt so bad. My head was aching as it chased after me. I lifted myself off my paws and ran. I wasn't sure if I was going backwards or forwards. It was so scary. And the darkness made it so hard to see anything. I saw the goose in the distance. My head was aching still from being thrown. Was it playing with me or protecting its babies? I wasn't even sure. I continued to follow after the little footprints. If I didn't, then I would never find Mama. The goose hissed at me more. I still ran though, ignoring all the eggs. Now I knew why it was dangerous to eat mysterious eggs and mysterious things. 'Cause Mama would always come back. Mama would always save you. But how would she save me when she didn't even know where I was? I was lost in thought for the rest of the trip. I saw some frogs, but they were too fast for me to catch, and my belly was rumbling so loud. One time it even startled me because I thought that wolves were chasing after me, stalking me. I soon came by a huge lake. It had some more eggs and I looked around for a Mama. I didn't see any, so I ate them. I hoped that wouldn't be a huge mistake, but my stomach stopped grumbling. I heard more hissing, and I hoped that did not mean that the mother was nearby. Unfortunately, it of course did. I just didn't know where. I got out of there as fast as I could. I was not going to risk trying to be near the goose. I sniffed all around. I was quite scared, actually. I was so unsure of what to do. The trees around me were white speckled. I wondered if that meant that they were poisonous, or if it was just a design choice that the spirits had chosen. The spirits liked to find their own ways of little creativities to put into creatures. Like for me, they gave me an interesting pattern on my back that none of my siblings had. And for Red, they gave him a unique color. And for some, I even heard that they have fully black pelts or fully white pelts. It was so interesting hearing about the spirits, how they chose every little detail of everything. I got so lost in thought, though, that I fell off the ledge a few times into the water. I, of course, panicked and jumped around frantically. I saw a goose, though. I was so scared and I ran. I fell a few more times, but I was not thinking about the spirits anymore, at least. I tried and I tried and I tried to get through that little crack in the crevice. I leapt up and down. I even lost track of my breath sometimes. The goose definitely saw me. I wondered if that was the same goose. And if it was it the same goose that laid all these eggs? That was impossible. Some of them would have hatched, surely. Or is it unlucky, just like me? Or just like Mama, to have all of its babies die? I decided that if I climbed up towards the mountain, then I would get a better look at everything. Besides, that was where the footprints led. I had gotten used to the trees crackling under me, and they would make good ramps if I had to go back around. I carefully leapt up the ledge. The slate that was piled up on top of each other was cold on my paws, but I had to climb up the mountain. Although Mother would have called it a hill, I bet. It wouldn't have been big at all to her. It wouldn't have been scary at all. She would have known what to do if she was young. I was sure of it. She would have never gotten lost in the first place. I was sure of it. Suddenly, I saw some birds. They smelled really tasty. I wanted to go catch them, but then I remembered what my mama had told me about lumbering forwards like a great beast. I would crouch and then leap. I unfortunately missed that one, but hey, there was still one more. Unfortunately, I missed that one too. Clearly, I was not stalking well enough. Then I saw one more chance to catch a bird and prove myself to Mother, although she wasn't here to watch. But I could always tell her the story. I stalked around a bush towards it. I leapt, and I missed. I was so surprised. Normally, in all of Mama's stories, they always got it on their last try. The birds kept flying away than landing, as if mocking me. I got so mad. Then I leapt, and I caught one. It tasted so good. Not quite like the rabbits, but also not like any of the other things, like berries or flowers or butterflies. They tasted really good, though. I actually really liked it. Now full with energy, I decided to continue on. Continue going up. I wasn't sure if I was lost or something, though. But then I saw something. A bunch of mushrooms. But they were placed oddly. Could this have been a marker? Could they have marked this area to help find me? I knew that that was the best chance I had, and I chased right on after it. Chased right on after the footprints. Then I realized I was going backwards. Silly old me. I decided I wanted to get another bird. Maybe I could carry it all the way back to Mama. She couldn't be that far away, could she? I grabbed it and kept walking. I was not going to eat or drop it. That was for sure. I heard some sticks snapping and it made me a little anxious. Crows cawed at me. I wonder if that meant that they were mad, or if the spirits were mad, or if it was just birds being birds. Surely Mother's story was just another cub story, right? The spirits weren't actually in the form of everyday songs that played through the forms of life. I continued walking and I found a really creepy cave. Everything was all foggy inside. It scared me. I got out of there as soon as I could. Then my stomach started rumbling and I ate the bird, but so what? I would catch more on the way. Or I would catch some in front of Mama. What would Twig have to say about that? I was so excited to get back to Red and Mama. They would be so happy to see that I was alive. I climbed up and up the hill. I was getting exhausted from the same charade over and over again. What was gonna happen? What would even happen when I got to the top? I was trying my best to leap up. It was not working quite well. I was getting exhausted. My pelt was growing hot. I finally managed to get all the way to the top, or at least as far as I was going up. I looked down. Below me, I saw the fog where it ended. There were leaves. They just were covered by the fog. I looked on. There was nothing but swamp as far as the eye could see. But I didn't care much. That was fine. I soon realized that the footprints had stopped. That is, until I realized that I had to go even higher up. I was rather annoyed at this, but at least I got in a little bit of time to rest. Not much, though, and I was still tired by the time I reached the third next step. What was worse, there was a jump, but I cleared it pretty easily. Finally, I was at the top of the hill, and I saw footprints. Mama had definitely been here. Then I felt her with me again. I saw her, or I could imagine seeing her at least. I crawled in to the den. I hoped that this would be a nice area to rest, with no other predators watching. I felt warmth, as if my mother and siblings were with me, next to me. I felt like something was watching me, though. The whole night, even in my dreams, something was there. I had a dream. Something far ahead, through a swamp. But it was a little scary, seeming at least. Suddenly, I saw a deer running. I ran too, worried. I got trampled to the ground. I saw wolves coming. They tripped over me, and they stumbled and snapped, but they weren't focusing on me. They were focusing on the deer. I ran all around, scared. I saw something ahead of me, but it was brambles. Although that's where the footprints led, Mother must have jumped over, carried the babies over. My siblings. I walked along, wondering if there was some kind of back way through. I saw something in the distance. It smelled tangy and strange. I crept close to it. Everything was sunrise, I could tell. But still, what was it? I got a closer look. At first I thought it was another lynx cub, but it was much too big for that, and its ears weren't pointed. I got closer and I leapt back upon realizing that it was a bear. I was so worried about it, actually. I wasn't sure what to do, but it seemed so hungry. There were birds around, so I decided that maybe it wouldn't eat me if I gave it food. Upon hunting, I realized that it must have been a much younger bear. Bigger bears were much bigger than that, and they could hunt. I crept up on the birds and leapt. I was still a little jittery, though, from the shock and scare. I missed one, pounced again and caught the second one. I was getting better at this. I stumbled over something and lost the bird, but I managed to pick it back up again, although it was a little bit impaled. Here, eat this, I said, dropping it next to it. Thank you, but could you get me something a little more sweet? He asked, not licking his lips. A little more sweet? I asked, looking around. Like what? He didn't respond. Then I saw some berries. They were a little strange, so I ate one first to see if they tasted strange. But they didn't. They must have just tasted strange to lynxes. The bear ate them happily, and I wondered what to do. The bear was a girl, I could tell, but it was a little bit odd. I gave it one more berry. Thank you. But why are you out here? Oh, my mother lost me in a flood. That happened to me too. I lost my mother too, but she didn't lose me. I lost her. She's dead. That's horrible. But do you think you could help me? Help you how? Well, I need to get up this little ledge, you see? And I can't on my own. You can't? Can't lynxes jump super high? Not that high up. See? We can only jump about halfway up there. Of course I'll help. What's your name, by the way? Oh, my name's Inna. What about you? Oh, my name is Kokona. What's your name? Sorry, it was a little long. Kakola. Huh. I like that name, Inna said. You are a strange lynx. Most lynx cubs would have just run. Yes, but I'm trying to find my mama. Well, I suppose I should help you then. We aren't quite tall enough. Come on, let's get a running start. How? Come on, over here. I'm not some kind of cattle, you know. I'm sorry, I'm just a little jumpy. Come on. Kokoda. Kokola, not Kokoda. Yes, Kokola. I'm going to have to wrap my head around that. Now, can you break that twig and bring me up there too? You want to come with me? I thought you were inviting me, but okay. No, you can come with me. I'm fine with that, she said, flicking her ears happily. Oh, thank you. I'll come with you then. Maybe I can help you find your mother. I don't think she would accept you much. I mean, you are a bear. Anna chuckled nervously. She wasn't used to this. Suddenly, she realized how it could be much easier traveling with a bear. Like, so much easier. They could eat the brambles. It was so easy. She saw something strange, a little path that led up. She left through it. It led to a strange place with a ring of mushrooms. She happily leapt onto them, memorizing the area. She knew that she had probably missed several, but it was enough, wasn't it? It was plenty. Kokola seemed a little interesting. After all, Kokola was a bear, but a little different like that. It was almost as if she was a different species, but she was still a lynx. There was also a strange silence between them, as if Coca-Cola didn't dare speak. "Hey, is everything okay?" she asked. "Well, would everything be okay if you had your mother die in front of you too?" he asked, shaking. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think about that the way," Inna said, looking at the small she-bear. "Hey, come on," she said, leaping up. "I'm on board too," Coca-Cola said, leaping up onto the log. They steered it as best they could. Still, though, it was a little odd. She tried her best to keep it on the path, but steering was a little difficult. Trying to keep it straight, of course. The lake felt really spooky. She wasn't sure what it was about it. It was almost as if a huge swamp monster was lurking beneath, waiting to drag them under. She flicked her ears nervously, wondering if the thing was about to burst up and show itself. She was so worried. She heard a strange, creepy scream in the distance, like a coyote or a fox of sorts. Then she saw it. Waves. She was so scared. "Hey, we should get off here. This is our stop," she called back to the lake. "Who are you talking to?" "Listen, I saw something back there. It was so scary. Like a giant wave, but it was like it was having something under it. I think there's a huge beast in that lake." "We should leave it alone then," Coca-Cola said. "Yes, of course. We definitely should," she said, not bothering glancing back at the ominous lake. Anna caught another bird, wondering if she would be as big as her siblings by the time she got back. She was getting quite the workout. "Hey, look at that! I think that might be a place to sleep," she said, running over to the hollowed-out tree. "Oh, I think it is. You're smart," Coca-Cola said, running over to the branches. Inna, as she rested, felt warmth around her, but this time not from her siblings or her mother. From Coca-Cola. Could Coca-Cola really end up being her new friend? She wondered if this was some kind of mistake, perhaps. But she didn't care. Anna awoke. Little Bear was still asleep beside her. "Hey, you, Little Bear. My name's not Little Bear, it's Coca-Cola." "I know, but I'm gonna forget that name. You know that, right?" she said, meowing again. "Fine, you can call me Little Bear," Coca-Cola said, shaking her head. "Thank you," Anna said, playfully pawing at the bear's nose. "Hey, another place for me to get up." "That's gonna be difficult," Anna mumbled to herself. "Come on, we need to get that running start like we did last time." The little bear followed after her, and Anna wondered if she should call her by her name. Seemed like whenever her name switched, And I got it wrong. Let's try this again, Inna said as Little Bear walked towards the end of the rocks. Ugh. This is gonna be difficult, she said, shaking her head to get the dirt off. Ugh. Got it. Good, now don't fall off. We can't do that again. That was too hard. Inna made sure that she managed to get all the way up. Then Little Bear followed after her. Inna smelled something strange. It smelled almost like a mix between a bear and a lynx. It also smelled faintly coyote-ish and wolfish. She wasn't sure what it was, but it smelled rotten also. Hey, Little Bear, are you coming? She asked, looking through the hole. I can't reach that far. I'm sorry. You'll have to knock down that branch from the other side. Oh, of course, Inna said, running away to the other side. Inna looked around for a proper way up. She soon saw a little ledge that she could climb up onto, but she would have to make a pretty big jump. She leapt and just barely managed to get across. She stepped down on the branch and watched as it crashed to the ground. Okay, come on, she said, gesturing to Little Bear. I'm gonna need your help with these, she said, flicking the dust and branches off her head. Yes, of course. I'm happy to help. Little Bear ran through and began eating all the berries. No wonder bears are so fat, Inna chuckled. Yeah, we eat a lot, because we can pretty much eat anything, Little Bear said, puffing out his chest. Inna heard a faint tapping sound. It was a little worrisome, but she continued following the footprints anyway. She felt like her mother was with her yet again. She wondered if this was safe. It didn't seem very safe. The ground was all covered in a weird, icky mist, almost as if it had been covered in grime. Then Inna recognized the scent. It was a fox. It was following her mother. She hoped that they would all be safe, but suddenly it felt like something was pulling her to the side. Hey, where are you going? Your footprints lead that way. I know, just 1 second. There's something over here. Inna walked along, wondering what was pulling her this way. She saw huge bones in the ground, like ribs, but of a huge giant. She sniffed them and realized what it was. Mammoths, or she thought so anyway. Mother had always described their scent. They had been here. The spirits were telling her this, but why? Suddenly Inna realized that the mist was growing up on her. She saw the mammoths walking along, or at least she could imagine that she did. It almost felt as if their spirits were still here, guarding those bones. Little Bear, are you coming? Inna called. I'm sorry, but I don't think I can. It's so scary there, Little Bear said, shaking his head. Okay, Scaredy Bear. I'll find a way for you to get across, yeah? Or is this goodbye? Just kidding. What did you think? I'm not scared. Although every part of Little Bear was shaking, Inna could tell that Little Bear was definitely not hoping for crossing. But, of course, being called a Scaredy Bear was, of course, more important. Hey, I think that they got through here. I'll have to find a tree branch to get you up, Inna said, crawling through. Inna saw tons of moths and she began looking for a small tree branch that she could knock down for Little Bear. But where would one be? Inna began to walk through the small area, looking around for a branch. She saw mists all around and began to walk through it. Across, she saw a tree branch that led over the mountains. She would have to go there. Suddenly, she saw something in this weird, misty moss. It ran after her, and she began panicking, flailing around in the soupy white mush. Where was it? Was it going to come again? It was a fox. Anna saw that the muck was rising. It was going to be over her head soon, but suddenly the fox grasped her. She heard a roar. She was so scared. Then everything went dark. She felt so much pain. She heard the fox yelping, but then everything went silent as well. She was so worried. She wasn't sure what she would do. She looked around gently as she woke up. She saw Little Bear. He seemed to be walking away to do something. Inna looked around at the red grass in front of her. Her stomach was hurting so bad from being jostled around, and her head felt like it had been cracked. Little Bear dropped a fish and she gently, carefully, slowly ate it, regaining her strength slowly as Little Bear placed some branches above her head to keep her sheltered. Inna decided that she would rest again. She didn't know what else she could do but rest. That night, Inna dreamt of her family, her real family. But when she awoke, it was Little Bear nudging her. "You saved me," Anna said, touching noses to Little Bear. "I know. I found a way to get across. I'm so sorry that we didn't look together. I was so worried and so scared." "Hey, it's okay," Anna said playfully, cuffing his back and jumping around. This small movement did hurt her, though. "Hey, I think I smell something." "I know you do. We have to keep searching, though. Hey, but this place is really pretty. Maybe I should catch some prey while we're here. Of course, you probably aren't hungry. You can just eat berries." "Yeah, but you are. But anyways, no, wait. You can tell me after we get rid of this forest." "Well, I hope you don't get rid of it. Just maybe get out of it. Yeah, anyways, my brain might be a little bit scrambled." Inna caught a little bit of bird. It was a really small one. She was still smelling that odd, familiar scent, though. That strange scent that called to her from all edges. "Hey, do you smell that?" "Yes, I do." But suddenly Little Bear's face turned in a smile. "But you'll have to go and see." "Little Bear, what are you doing? Are you trying to make me die of confusion?" Anna said, running around looking for a way out of the rocky enclosed area. "No, but you'll have to see." "Okay. But I hope I do get to see." "Hey, how do we get out of here?" "You'll have to see," Little Bear said, pawing at her face. "Hey, your paws are much bigger than mine. I wouldn't want to get hurt." "Of course you wouldn't." "Hey, look, over here, some brambles for me to break. So very conveniently." "Why are you being a little odd?" Anna asked, confused, but a smile crept onto her face as she realized that Little Bear must have been trying to lighten her spirits. Suddenly, she realized something. "Hey, Little Bear, where are you going?" Anna called after him as he ran. "You'll see." "Why are you being so odd?" she asked as he ran back over to her. "You'll see." he said, booping her nose. Hey, where did you even go? There you are. Why are you being so sneaky? I don't know, he said, stifling his grin. Why are you being so strange? Anna was cut off as a smell hit her nose, one that she hadn't smelled in a few days. I told you would see, Little Bear called as he ran. Hey, where are you going? Wait up! Anna called after him. Then she saw him sitting by a riverbank. Hey, what are you looking at? Anna walked closer to the water. She saw her mother and her siblings with her. But there was something odd about the family. Red was missing. Was Red okay? She saw the sorrow in her mother's eyes, knowing that Red was not okay. The fox, it had probably taken him. Anna began swimming across the water. Stop! Her mother called. Why are you coming here? What do you mean, why am I coming here? Don't you want me? Anna asked, swimming back to the shore. Of course I want you, little one. But just look behind you. What do you mean? Anna said, turning around. Do you want me to stay with Little Bear? Is that it? Of course I do. I've been watching. I've been watching from afar. You have? You saw everything? Yes. I saw how well he takes care of you, far better than I could take care of you. I should have grabbed you first. I knew that you were smaller, but I grabbed Twig instead. But Mama, I've searched for you, Anna said, leaping back into the water. But I understand. You want me to stay with Little Bear because I love him more? But I don't. You may think that, but you'll understand in the future. The wind spirits have guided me to you, so that we could say goodbye. Oh, Mother, I'm gonna miss you so much. I love you. Goodbye. And thank you so much, Anna said, running away, glancing back and meowing goodbye to her mother and her siblings. Goodbye, Twig. Goodbye, Violet. Goodbye, Minnow, she called after her mother and siblings. Little Bear glanced back at them before walking along. Little Bear, are you coming? Yes, of course. I guess I wasn't really expecting that. You weren't expecting that? No, I guess I wasn't. Come on, I know a place to stay, though. I can't believe you would give up your mother for me, though. I'm not giving her up. She's still with me. I know she is. I can tell that she is. Because I can know these things. Because the spirits speak to me. I've been seeing them all along. Like when I saw those mammoths. I'm not sure why, but I can see them. I can see the past in the spirits. But that's alright. It doesn't matter. Because I'm still happy. Because I'm with you. And that is all that matters. That I'm with you, Anna said, walking faster. But your mother and siblings, won't you miss them? Oh, of course I'll miss them. But I would have missed you more because I haven't gotten to know you. And that's what it is. Trust. We must trust each other. Trust each other to understand. Trust each other to keep each other safe before we even know that we'll keep each other safe. This whole journey, the reason my mother was watching me, she found me and she left me in your care because she knew that she had to focus on her cubs. She trusted you to keep me safe. And And I trust you too, little bear. I trust you. I do. I trust you too, Inna. But you must know that eventually we'll have to separate. But eventually is far enough away. It is. Isn't it? It is, I suppose. A little is better than none when it comes to friendship. 'Cause we've made memories. Inna awoke that night. The wind was speaking to her again, telling her to come close for some reason. She wasn't sure why. She crept away, checking on Little Bear yet again to make sure that he was still alive and okay. She saw something strange, though. Something really, really odd. She sniffed around, not sure what was happening. Was she gonna be okay at all? Anna explored a bit more, trying to find a way up to what she could see up there. It was a faint glow, the faintest. She wasn't sure what it was. She crept closer, sitting down as she watched. Then she saw that star from when she was really young. And with it came a spirit, a final one. Her mother reaching out to her, reminding her that her mother would always be close, even if she had chosen her friend. Her mother was still watching over her, just like she was with her own cubs. She waved goodbye to her mother as she left, realizing that this was where she belonged, here. But not alone. She didn't belong alone. She belonged with Little Bear. And that was the final choice that she had made.